I'm a 28-year-old woman, and I've been with my boyfriend who's 30 for nearly 8 years. We moved in together about 4 years ago. Over time we built a life full of memories. Vacations, shared friends, pets. Everyone always assumed we'd eventually get married whenever we decided to. From the outside we seemed solid. But over the past year things changed. I started something with my boss, who's 45. It wasn't planned or calculated, it just happened. I'm not going to punish myself endlessly for it, but I know it was reckless. It began innocently enough. He'd text me after work about projects and deadlines. Gradually, his messages drifted into jokes, memes, and casual chats. He would keep me late under the excuse of finishing work, yet he'd show up just to talk, standing awkwardly before leaving with little said. It all felt oddly thrilling, almost like the start of a romance. Eventually, after company dinner, he asked me out. I said yes without overthinking it. That was the beginning. He's married, has 2 kids, and has been with his wife since college. On the surface, they seemed like the perfect couple, but when he talked about them, it was clear the love had faded. He told me they often sleep in separate rooms, and I believed him. Partly I still do. Our relationship has been both the best and worst thing that's happened to me. The excitement, the way he makes me feel seen and important, it's intoxicating. People at work joke about us, calling me his office wife. And while I laugh along, it feeds a part of me that's been neglected. It feels good to be the focus of someone's attention, to feel desired, to have deep conversations I haven't had in years. He tells me I'm brilliant, that he wishes he'd met me before his life got so complicated. I soak it in even when I know better. Meanwhile, my relationship with my boyfriend has grown stale. We live like roommates, working, eating, watching TV, barely touching. I love him, but it's not the same. Meeting someone else made me realize how far we've drifted. The physical side with my boss is unbelievable. It's like he knows exactly what I want without me saying a word. Rough, passionate, urgent. Sometimes it happens in his office, sometimes in hotels we sneak away to, like the music festival weekend, which we never even attended. I planned that trip around a tough week for my boyfriend, making sure he couldn't join, lying that it was work-related. He was upset but didn't push. Lately my boyfriend's been different. Suspicious. He asks more questions about where I am and who I'm with. Can feel the tension. It's exhausting carrying all of it. The truth is I'm torn. Part of me thinks I love my boss, dreams of leaving and starting over. But reality hits. He's still married. He talks about leaving, yet there's always a reason to wait. A project, a kid's event. Meanwhile, I'm stuck in this half-life, risking everything while he still sleeps beside his wife. Sometimes I hate myself for wanting it all, for being too selfish to let either of them go. 2 nights ago, everything fell apart. I'd gone out for dinner with my girlfriends. Nothing secret, nothing shady. When I returned, my phone was flooded with missed calls and panicked texts from my best friend. She told me my boyfriend had come to her house, dumped all my things outside, and driven away without a word. No knock, no conversation, just garbage bags and a suitcase on her doorstep. She watched him from the window, tried calling, but he ignored her. I called him immediately, no answer. I texted, still nothing. I drove straight to our apartment, only to find the locks had been changed. I stood there for what felt like forever, trying to process it. My best friend let me stay in her spare room, and that's where I am now. It's cramped, awkward, and everything feels wrong. I don't even know what to do next. She's living in a tiny 2-bedroom now, the second room doubling as an office. There's only a worn-out couch to sleep on, and everything about it feels off. Deep down, I know he must have found something he was never meant to see. I'm furious with myself for being careless enough to give him the chance. Meanwhile, my boss has been nothing but supportive. The moment I told him what happened, he texted me back, saying I didn't deserve to be thrown out like that. He even offered me a place to stay if I needed it. I'm meeting him tonight because I crave comfort. Someone who will hold me gently after being tossed aside so brutally. Despite everything, part of me still clings to hope. I wish there was a way to fix things with my boyfriend, but I'm lost on where to even begin. Money is now another looming problem. I've been searching for studio apartments, but even the cheapest ones stretch my budget thin. I managed to save my share of rent when things were still good, but I'll have to sell my car and downgrade to something smaller and cheaper if I want to make it on my own. The loss hits me in waves. It feels like I've been ripped out of adulthood and thrown back to being 21 and broke, starting over from scratch. Today was the final blow. After days of silence, my boyfriend finally sent a text. Just one line. There's nothing left to fix. While I was out to dinner the other night, he went through my laptop. He cracked my hidden album using the same password I foolishly used for everything. There, tucked away, was a photo I thought was long gone. Me in a hotel bed, barely dressed, smiling at the camera with my boss lying behind me, holding me. I hadn't even realized it was backed up. I thought I had erased every trace. I stared at the message, paralyzed for 10 minutes. Then I texted back, begging him to meet, to talk, to at least give me a chance to explain. No reply, nothing. He didn't scream or curse. He just cut me out like I never mattered. Now he's blocked me everywhere. My number, social media, everything. He even told mutual friends not to tell him if they saw me around. He's already rewriting our story to everyone else. And I'm helpless to defend myself. I miss him, not just as a lover but as my closest friend. I miss the little routines, the way he'd make me coffee on Sundays, the way he'd sing badly in the car, the silly small things that made a life together. The grief feels physical, like something's been amputated. Last night I met with my boss. We talked about what comes next. I tried to bring it up carefully, but he got uneasy. He told me he loved what we had, but he didn't want to destroy his kids' lives. He needed more time. I wanted to shout, to tell him not to string me along, but I smiled and said I understood. I know if I push too hard, he'll vanish too. There are plenty of women at work who would jump at the chance to take my place. I'm not naive about that. He's leaving for a conference in Miami next week, and he asked me to come. I agreed. I'm not even sure what I'm hoping will happen. Maybe I'm still clinging to the fantasy that if we get away from everything, he'll realize how much I mean to him. Maybe I'm just lying to myself. I'm still crashing at my friend's apartment, but it's clear I can't stay much longer. She's being kind, but it's not a real solution. Yesterday, I toured a tiny studio apartment. It was grimy, smelled of mildew, and made my heart sink. Still, I filled out the application, knowing it was all I could afford. Everything collapsed so fast. A year ago, my life was full of excitement and hope. Now I've lost my home, my partner, my security. Looking back, it doesn't feel worth it. For the first time, I feel real, soul-deep regret. I know I could have stopped this from spiraling, but I didn't. And now I'm living out of bags, waiting for messages from a man who still has a family to go home to, while I have no real home at all. It's not worth it. Never was.